Welcome back to What's Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a KV-2, it's a tier 6 Soviet heavy tank, and it's located on the defending spawn of Siegfried Line Assault, and it's under the command of Squirrelynuts. Now this is otherwise known as the Strong tank. Well, it's got a 152mm howitzer in a Bolshoi Bashny, that's what the Russians called it, a big tower, big turret, and well, it's capable of doing a lot of damage to the enemy with HE rounds. Well, the Soviets built over 300 of these, and they used them during the Winter War against Finland, but it turned out that unfortunately it didn't stand up too well against many German tanks, although they did defend at Rasinai, which is where we get that Rasinai's Hero Medal. The fact of the matter is that it's basically a KV-1 chassis with a very unusual turret on top of it, and it couldn't fire or traverse the turret very easily on uneven ground. So in the end they gave up on it. They didn't produce any more after the first batch in 1940. And that was it. So they did use them during the Patriotic War, but it didn't really get produced in any numbers. And instead the Russians built KV-1s, T-34s, and started developing the KV line up to the KV-3 instead. Now the one thing I can say, oh, we can do that. It can derp a tank. Now it has got a very long reload, 20 seconds, but it's amazing what it can do. It doesn't matter if that heavy tank is actually on an even or an equal tier, or even if it's actually a superior tier. It can still do massive module damage every time it shoots. And that T-150 took a big hit. And you can see he pulled back immediately. Here he comes, the T1 Heavy, and he took an even bigger hit. 385 hit points off that one. Now the output damage on this gun with the HE rounds is 910 hit points. That's if it gets a good hit, it can do a huge amount of damage to the enemy. Okay, he's loaded. Fires one into the T-150. He didn't really even have to aim it. He turned the turret round, but he didn't actually get it on the spot that he actually wanted, and eventually just said, well, okay, I'll go ahead and fire. And it worked. And the T-150 is dead. Now, T-1 Heavy, almost loaded. You're about to die. And yes, that one went into the turret and wiped out the rest of them. So, 2 tanks down. Only 1 kill, though, recorded, because, of course, the T-150 was taken out by a colleague. Now, one of the things about the KV-1 is a lot of people find that they can just casually snapshot aim at the enemy, and sometimes it will do the most amazing shots like that. 750 hit points of damage to the Cromwell, but only 512 recorded by Squirrelynuts. So he didn't get the full whack in terms of they didn't allocate the full amount of hit points to him, but it's a huge amount of damage. It just basically one-shotted that Cromwell at range. And he's firing over the top of that 87. That shell whizzed over his cupola at high speed. And oh, an IKV-90 just drove through the field of fire. And I think they're congregating on the second entrance now. They realise it's a bit too dangerous trying to go through that other one. Oh, Dickermax behind us. Just spotted out the field, but he's gone below the ridgeline on the other side. Now, I don't know if Squirrelynuts knows that. He's not going to get a shot on him at the moment, and if he does, it will probably be a hold down position. And the big worry for him there will be that if he isn't hold down, he's a lot more difficult to shoot. Oh, he's side on! And yes! That's a one-shot too. 550 hit points. The Dickermax was a bit of an idiot. He was a bit of a dick, you could say, because he did not pay attention to what had happened to his teammates. So he just got shut up the rear by a 152mm howitzer, and he's out of the game, back in the garage. So they're doing quite well. They're keeping their par. At the moment, they're equal score with the enemy. But that AMX-12 over there, who's sitting behind our M12, I reckon he'll pop back round the corner to try and get a shot on that M12. Or is he coming round the other side? Well, he changed direction there. T-67's taken some hits. He's gone. There's an M4 over that side. And he's just killed our T-67. So I think we're going over there to equalise the score. Now, a lot of people have actually called this very funny names. Of course, the Dirt Machine or Stalin's Fridge. But it really is superb fun, this tank. Oh, well, he didn't get a full hit there. 416 hit points. I think he must have hit some solid armor, and it didn't pen, but it did do a huge amount of damage. That M4 is now basically a one-shot for anyone. And that's the enemy Arty, a guerrilla trying to get us. He knows when we are. He saw us. We were spotted. And he's just trying to get at us. I think he may have actually been trying to get at the M12 even. But we're one shot down on the enemy at the moment. One kill down on the enemy, I should say. And we're going to go over this ridge line to take out the M4. Hopefully he's still there. Oh, we've been spotted, so he is still here. But that means Arty rounds could be inbound very shortly. And there's the M4. He's actually sneaked around the back and climbed over the top. So just as we were going over the ridge, he saw our rear end. But he didn't fire at us, because if he had, I think we probably would have turned around on the spot and come back after him. And oh, the M12. Well, he just managed to, on the enemy team, managed to kill our IS-2. And there's the M4 making his way in towards the cap area. We've locked on. And that's it. That's the end of that M4. You only need to get a shot near him to wipe him out, because this thing's got splash. It's basically an artillery howitzer mounted on a tank, which is why Arty players like it so much, because it's basically horizontal Arty. It's great fun. Now, the problem with the KV-2 is that you have to slog your way up to get the 152mm, or what you can do is store up 16,000 experience points, free experience, and use that instead straight away to get to the 152mm howitzer, and then just have oodles of fun. This tank is so much fun to play. Now, if you want to know about the skin, by the way, with the hammer and sickle and star on one side and Stalin's face on the other, that is a free skin available from What Arty Noobs. It was produced by Rusty NZ. He produces all our skins. It's a beautiful skin, and it just makes the tank look so special. But there are many other skins for the KV-2. In fact, one actually says KV-2. So that was Walst, I think. Steve Walst, the streamer, had one produced with his name on, and other people have actually made other skins for the KV-2 because it's such a special tank. Well, anything around the corner? No. All they've got left is 3 Artys, and they're going to have to come in if they want to win the game. There's only 2 tanks facing them, an AT7 and the KV-2, and oh, one of them's come in, and it's the M12. Now, he has got a kill to his name, but he has already suffered major damage. The AT7 got around into him, and he won't survive very long, but he has derped the AT7. Well, that's the minute hooter. If they're going to come in, they're going to have to come in now or lose the game. I think they've decided to give up. They're not bothering to come in, except for the M12, who's the only one really who had the courage, or should I say it, balls, to actually come in and attack. Actually, the wrong word to use, actually, because there are plenty of ladies who play this game. And oh, here comes the gorilla. And there he goes. Thank you for coming. 9 seconds to go. 6, 5. Oh, they're trying to shoot at him. 3, 2, 1. And that's it. Game over. They won. They managed to keep the cap free of enemies and stay alive to the end of the game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's an ace tanker for Squirrelynuts in the KV-2. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 22, and that one a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. So he got 5, and a 5 effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. And because he was in platoon with that AT-7 at the end, he picked up a Brothers in Arms. They both had at least 3 kills, and he also got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. So let's have a look at team score. There you go, right at the top of the table, 3,080 hit points of damage. The next high scorer was the AT-7, his platoon mate. He also got 2,201 hit points. And the next high scorer after that was the IS on the enemy team. He got 1,943. When it came to kills, it was the KV-2 again. He's got top of the column with 5. The AT-7 managed to get 4 kills, and the AMX 12-ton managed to get 3 in total. And when it came to base XP, again, Squirrelynuts got the top. He's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,367 base experience points. That's an emphatic ace tanker. He also picked up, the AT-7 managed to pick up 1,141. And the next high scorer was the MX 12-ton on the enemy team with 668. He fired 9 rounds in that game. Got 9 direct hits and 9 penetrations. So he did pen those tanks, even though he didn't get the full damage on them. 3,080 hit points of damage, all of it at close range. He received 2 hits from the enemy. Both of them were non-penetrations, and 1 hit as a result of splash damage from the enemy Arty. He blocked damage in total of 275 hit points. He spotted 4 enemy vehicles, damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 5 of them, and on a premium count, he earned 51,000 credits exactly. Got 25,500 from personal reserves bonus, that's the 50%er, and his total came to 76,500. And after repair and ammunition resupply, and the shells are relatively inexpensive, he took away 69,035 credits from that game. He received 2,051 XP, and there's no multipliers, so that's all he took away, I'm afraid. But a really good game that was. It shows what the KV-2 is like. It's an absolute dirt machine. It's so much fun. If you do want to go up any Soviet line, you must go up the KV-2 line to get the KV-2. It is the very best fun. It's also fairly difficult to play because there are weak spots on it. There are places just underneath the turret, and if you hit the turret, the side of the turret, side on. But the rest of the turret is actually fairly strong. Except, of course, the rear of the turret. I actually got derped in the rear by one of my own platoon mates on one occasion. He knows who he is. Yes, I drove straight past him while he was aiming to shoot at the enemy, and he shot me right in the rear of the turret by accident, but it was very funny at the time. So, if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.